Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Just a quick description of the place where I am before we go into the news. Right behind me you see those gorgeous fountains. There is a statue of Pushkin over there. On my right side is the building of Izviestia, and behind me the cinema. In Russian I think you say exactly the same like in Polish, kino, we say the same. So guys, today I have several topics, and the most important one that took me quite some time to translate from Polish into English will be the interview that Radosław Sikorski, the foreign minister of Poland, the one who tweeted "Thank you USA" after the Nord Stream pipeline poof and then deleted the tweet, gave to one of the most popular TV channels in Poland, that is called TVN24, TVN24. Why I decided to translate this to you? Some of you say, Ania, you should stop paying so much attention to Sikorski. Wrong. A lot of statements he made that confirm what I have been telling you for a long time. I'm not just the only one, but since I am Polish, so I have a bit more understanding into how the situation in Poland is, and without a shadow of the doubt, Poland will be, well, we know the soldiers are already there, but Poland will be definitely sending soldiers to Ukraine. And why I'm saying this I will tell you in a second, but before I do this, yesterday I had a live stream with RITTER. Those of you who haven't seen that live stream, make sure to check it out. You go on the main page of my channel and find out. Let's go through this interview first, then I will be giving you article about Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, and his visit in Moscow right after he had visit in Ukraine, in Kiev. And then I have, well, maybe start with this because this is very quick update. Let me see, where did I put this? Right here. That the Prime Minister of Slovakia, Robert Fico, made his first public appearance since the assassination attempt. Robert Fico gave a speech on stage at an evening gathering to mark the 1161 anniversary of Saint Cyril and Methodin's arrival, a national holiday in his country, in Slovakia. People gave him a standing ovation when he arrived at the Devin Castle in the capital. I think I said this correctly. So guys, there is a video actually. I will attach the link down below in the description box about this information. I'm very glad that Robert Fico is returning to his duties as the Prime Minister, and you have the video down below that tells you about, that shows you that that speech that he gave when he went on stage. Alright, I got a little distracted here, but let me go to the interview with Sikorski. The first question gives a lot of answers to what we are about to expect, especially with Poland. I said this lately in one of my latest videos that definitely some of the countries will be dragged into this war with Ukraine, and Poland will be among those, while other countries like France, Germany, Italy, some other countries, Austria, and looks like Slovakia and Hungary will definitely not be participating in this experience, but of course Poland will be, because we are the colonial state of the United States. So let me find this first question. Question from the journalist. When will the President Zelensky come to us? And here is the answer. This is one of the most important parts of this interview. So Sikorski says, I cannot say for security reasons, but I can confirm that we have completed negotiations on a long-term defense cooperation agreement with Ukraine, and I hope that it will be signed before the summit. Before I give you my commentary on this, so we have a NATO summit coming. This is between 9th and 11th of July next week, and it will be in Washington in United States. So let me repeat this again, what he said. We have completed negotiations on a long-term defense cooperation agreement with Ukraine. And I hope that it will be signed before the summit. I hope you understand what this means. I know most of you, if not all of you, do. Defense cooperation agreement with Ukraine. There you have it. Do I have to say more? Next question. Will Donald Trump's victory be a danger for Ukraine and for President Zelensky? And Sikorski says, I can't say that because we want to have the best possible relations with whoever becomes president of the United States. We are talking to both the current administration and the Trump camp. Next question from the journalist. Donald Trump says that if elected, he will end the war on Ukraine in 1 hour or 1 day. And Sikorski says this, only one person can end the war in 1 hour, and that is Vladimir Putin, by making a phone call to his defense minister and simply withdrawing from Ukraine. We are talking to President Trump's entourage. There are various concepts, some of which are intended to encourage Russia to engage in more realistic negotiations by threatening escalation. There are also interesting ideas there. Next question, the continuum about this topic from the journalist, and the idea of not expanding NATO to include Ukraine. Is it an interesting idea? So she's asking if Ukraine not being part of NATO, if this is a good idea, if this is interesting idea. I just moved, maybe it's a little bit more quiet away from the fountain. I hope the noise is okay with you. So if Ukraine is not part of NATO, is it an interesting idea, the journalist asked. And Sikorski answers, there will be no invitation for Ukraine at this summit, but there will be practical steps to encourage Ukraine. There is talk of establishing a fixed amount of military aid, a center of analyzing this war and training here in Bydgoszcz in Poland. I've mentioned this before, in city of Bydgoszcz. I think they have already created this like a training center. We will also create a NATO mission. Of course, I mean, he's talking like Poland, right? We will also create a NATO's mission that will take over the coordination of aid for Ukraine from the American command in Germany. So this mission will take over. So Poland is taking over. So what country will be first to be destroyed and sacrificed? Next question from the journalist. Did Orban's visit to Ukraine help or harmed Ukraine? I do not know whether Prime Minister Orban has the authorization of... Okay, so let me tell, because I didn't tell you, the question was from a journalist that about visit of Orban. Did Orban's visit to Ukraine help or harm Ukraine? And the answer is, I do not know whether Prime Minister Orban has the authorization of the President of the European Council. I would like to remind you that head of the presidency government does not currently lead the work of the council during the presidency, because that is why we have President Michel. So if Prime Minister Orban goes to Kiev, or should he go to Moscow, this was recorded before Orban's visit to Moscow, the question arises who he represents there. That's what Sikorski said. So the journalist continues. So what can the European Union do in such a situation if Prime Minister Orban went to Ukraine and now to Moscow? Sikorski. It goes there in the name of Hungary, not the EU. Journalist. So the EU rejects it? After all, this is the Hungarian presidency, so this is an official visit, isn't it? And Sikorski says, yes, but it does not concern foreign and defense affairs, because here the treaty decision is made by the high representatives at the Council for foreign affairs and there is no place for the national president. Question. In any case, is it possible that Orban will go to Moscow according to you? Like I said, this was recorded before Orban's trip here to Russia. Sikorski says, that's what the squirrels are reporting. Question from the journalist. The president, Andrzej Duda, the president, I wrote this down in the wrong way. So, but anyway, the president Andrzej Duda is announced the meeting for the National Security Council on Monday, and this will be before going to the NATO summit. Will a common position be developed there during this meeting on Monday in Poland with the president of Poland, Duda, or is there already a common position? So Sikorski says there is no need for a common position because Poland's foreign policy is conducted by the Council of Ministers. And the Council of Ministers has already communicated it, and if not, tomorrow I will convey to the President the position that the President is to represent, because that is the constitutional law. And if he does this, as he did in China, where he fulfilled our request in an important specific matter, he will perform his duties. The question, so Poland, this is, I mean, listen to this, guys. How the question is asked, this is the approach Poland has. So Poland is proud that the president, when Duda was in China, that the president said that Xi Jinping, is a friend of the president. So like she's asking if Poland is proud of it, that Duda said that Xi is a friend of the president. Sikorski, I am talking about something else. The president took some risk on himself because he went to a communist country. He was photographed against the background of the communist flags, but he raised an important issue for Poland there. So it seems like something that the Council of Ministers, the Prime Minister, /all Donald Tusk, and Duda, President of Poland, had something that they agreed on, and Duda accomplished that mission. Who knows what it is? Question. But will the President have any comments regarding the position that Poland will represent in the NATO summit? Sikorski, Mr. President has the right to full information, and of course, he can always invite me, the Minister of Defense, you know, the doctor, Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, whose backpack is ready, my comments, right? Or the Prime Minister, /all Donald Tusk, and he can enter into dialogue, of course. Poland must have one foreign policy formulated by the Council of Ministers in Article 146 of the Constitution, while Article 133 of the Constitution states that the President cooperates with the Prime Minister and the ministers. The President is a representative of Poland and not the head of the executive power. Why I decided to read you this entire interview, well, I think it's entire, or it's a big part of it. First and foremost, don't you think that that should be a referendum or something like that in Poland that will ask Polish citizens, that I believe absolute majority is against being dragged into the war, do Polish people want to participate in this experience? Of course it should be, right? But of course it's not. So now it looks like, let's see, where is this first question? That was the deal breaker, as you say, guys. Lately the deal breakers all over the place. And this will be the title. Poland has already completed negotiations on a long-term defense cooperation agreement with Ukraine. So people are going there. End of story. Has anyone asked us? No. And because of this, I want to tell you that my decision to move here became even more, even stronger, and I am now at this moment really convinced I have to get out of there, because I'm not saying this is the ideal country to live, but comparing Poland to Russia at this moment, I don't think we even have to ask ourselves this question. And I just want to say to those of you who are buying my book, you have no idea how much it means. To all of you who are donating to me on PayPal and other platforms that I have, who give me super thanks under my videos, I just want you to know how grateful I am for your support, because I will do everything I can in my power to make this move happen this year. But in order to do it, I will have to buy my property here. So that's how it looks like. The video that I think you can turn on, the translation to this interview, will be down below, attached down below in the description box. Maybe I should go into the comments, because they are actually quite relevant to my decision to move to Russia. This is about what I asked you yesterday, my Russian viewers, about migration in Russia. And Katya Kotner, I think that's your name, you say, I am also Russian and I have lived in Russia in several different regions my whole life, but I haven't really experienced such an issues with migration. We do have all kinds of work migrants, yes, but I wouldn't call the migration uncontrolled. We do need workforce, but even now I don't see any uncontrolled importation of migrants. Then again, Russia is huge, so we can't say anything for sure until we know which region the commentator primarily speaks about. Because the comment I read you yesterday in my latest solo video was about someone who said that there are problems with migration here in Russia and they are not really talking about it. And then actually also very relevant to what Sikorski said, a comment from the Polish viewer, Dariusz Szymczyk. This will be in Polish first, then I will translate into English. W 1939 też nam bronili granic. To były nie najlepsze czasy. This means in 1939 they were also protecting our borders, and those were not the best times. What does this person mean, Dariusz? Thank you so much for your comments, guys. That Poland is seeking, as I read you yesterday, support, help from Finland. I think it was Finland, Greece, and one more. Oh, Germany. I mean, how can I forget? Poland is seeking help from those three countries to protect the border with Belarus. And this is what Dariusz commented on. Very good comment. Thank you so much. Now let's go to the topic of Prime Minister of Hungary visiting Moscow. Yes, he was here yesterday. And the article is from TASS. So, Orban's visiting Russia and meeting with President Putin. Much to be done to reach peace between Russia and Ukraine, said the Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban. The talks between Vladimir Putin and Viktor Orban lasted for 2.5 hours and were also attended by the two countries' foreign ministers. Moscow and Kiev positions are poles apart, and it will take a lot of effort to reach peace. That's what Orban has said. This is why I visited Kiev this week, and this is why I am in Moscow now. I see that their positions are a far cry from each other. Many steps need to be taken to get closer to the end of the war, he said, after talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin here in Moscow. So I have actually, and the article goes into that Hungary took over 6 months European Union presidency on July 1st. On the following day, so Orban took the presidency on the 1st of July. On the 2nd of July he was already in Kiev, and on the 5th, yesterday, he was here in Moscow on the following day. So after that he went to Kiev and then held talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Volodymyr I should say. The Hungarian Prime Minister advanced ceasefire conditions, but Zelensky turned them down, as his office said. Orban explained that he represented European continent which is interested in peace, and in his words, peace can be achieved through talks with Russia, but Kiev banned them by Zelensky's decree. So Putin yesterday, there was a video that I watched, a short moment when they met, And President Putin said just recently, I believe on July 2nd, you were in Kiev, and now you have come here to Moscow to discuss all the aspects of the situation currently developing, and I am ready to discuss this with you. We will talk about prospects developing the biggest European crisis in Ukraine, and I am at your service. And you probably know about my speech in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that I delivered recently, stating our position regarding the possible settlement of the situation, and I expect you to familiarize me with the position of our European partners. That's how the situation looks like, guys. Of course, EU is like Orban is not representing us, he's just representing himself. I think he's representing not just himself, he's representing, I would say he's representing me, okay? At this moment, he's not my prime minister, but he's representing millions and millions of people who don't want to go and fight the war that is not their war. Why shall they, right? And this is again, no one is talking about peace. And what I really don't, I mean, I understand because this is all about power and money. But if you look from the logical standpoint, right? Let's walk a little bit there so you have some views. If you look from the logical standpoint, honestly, imagine you have two sides, like there is a fight. Two sides are fighting. And why one side knows that there is no chance this side can win. They just cannot win. No matter what coaches they will have, no matter what, liquids they will drink, no matter what sponsorships they will have on their t-shirts, on their uniforms that they are fighting, and they're just not gonna win because the opponent is just gonna win. But they keep on fighting. It's really a mental disease, in my opinion. It's sick, it's being mentally sick. This is just my approach to this. But I will end this video here. Maybe I can show you up closer the statue of Pushkin. The weather today, to change on a little bit different note, guys, has changed 10 degrees Celsius down. So from 34 now we have 24, which is very nice. It's warm, still quite sunny, even though we have some clouds, but it's more fresh. And it's always beautiful day here. I'm always very grateful to be in Moscow, be Russia, and I want to thank all of you for all your support, making my dream come true, to move here, to buy my property, and for some time, you never know if this is forever, but for some time to live here. And let me come a little bit closer so you can see how beautiful this statue is. You have some tourists as well. And this street behind me, I think this is Tverskaya. Yes, this is Tverskaya Street. Very busy area. This way, you probably can see, if you zoom on this video, you see Red Square, Kremlin there. I mean, you don't see the Red Square, you see Kremlin buildings. And this side has very lovely park over there, promenade. So that's all about for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sharing my videos, for leaving the comments, for hitting this like. I wish you a wonderful day, wonderful Saturday. Thank you for all your support. The links will be attached down below in the description box. And that's it. Follow me on Instagram, please do. We have just a few more people to reach 7,000 followers. That will be great for me. Some pictures from Russia, you can see more than in the videos. And lots of love. Remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. Bye from Moscow, everyone. See you tomorrow.